Yes, just type in Twitch on what. Well, that will open up the Twitch app. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tabletop Tuesday. Why is Anne's not showing up? Everything is always scuffed. Oh wait, it didn't choose the file again. Why didn't you choose the file? Alright, let's try this again. That goes there. This goes here. And we save and save. Alright. Please tell me it's working now. Yeah, it's working. Huzzah. Alright, so welcome everyone to Tabletop Tuesday, where we talk about wonderful nerdy shit while we play some sort of game, usually in the background. Let's just get our announcements done out of the way.
This game. Okay, thank you. Roland just handed it to me. I have told him he cannot play Skyward Sword.
Alright. Sorry, we're getting distracted by children in the background, so please forgive me. So we have our sponsors. Their links are down below. I can't talk about more than that, or else Twitch will literally have a seizure. Aside...
Oh my god, you know what? Whatever at this point, okay? That is not a yes. Find a different game.
Aside from that...
Welcome, traveler.
D Chunks, welcome to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my goddamn tavern. Thank you for the check-in. By the way, King Trap Travesty, also welcome to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my damn tavern. Alright. With that being said, let's welcome in all the people who are supposed to be chatting today. We got myself. We have my wife, which is on here labeled as Ruby's boss. So, say hi, hon.
Hi, sorry, arguing with small children.
And then we have our continuous discussion partner and partner in crime, Candid Gamera.
Hello, hello.
And we have our fourth person, which is Lady Nadia. I didn't hear you. Why did I hear you? Oh, because I have you muted. That's why.
Well, fine. Be that way then.
I fixed it. Alright. Alright, so, D-Chunks, I'm doing alright, man. Thank you for the Umbreon. That is cool. I love that. Alright, so, what are we playing today? Well, as soon as I get this showing up. There we go. We have our game here. And, I'm gonna turn off the chat box. Not the chat box. I love it if I could figure out. There you go. We're gonna turn that off. We're gonna make this a little bigger. I don't think you need to see all the tools I'm using. I wonder if I can... Where is it? Gamepad, friends, everyone. Where is it? I could have sworn there's like a place where I could set up the toolbar. There's invert toolbar description. I thought there was a way you could like flip it to the top.
You're way more ahead of me on OBS stuff.
Oh no, I'm talking about with Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah, you're even further ahead of me on that stuff.
Thank you for the check-in, King Trap. I appreciate that. I might just, you know what? I'm gonna put us up top instead. And make us a little bigger. There we go.
I don't think I could stream Twitch and Discord at the same time.
No.
On my phone.
There we go. Alright, so this should be good. Yeah, that'll work. It's going to be a little funky, I think. We're working on it. It's an improvement. God damn it. Everything's scuffed! Alright.
Yeah, first time we're doing this with 4, so...
Yeah, this is a new fun situation for me. Alright, let me unpause time. So, we had several things we were willing to discuss today. I think the first one we were going to cover was the cons and
Sure.
and the RPG event that I attended. You the con. So why don't you go for the con?
Okay.
And we're not saying we're conning people. It's convention.
We're not saying it. It's really left up to your own judgment. No. Yeah, I wanted to kind of get this sort of topic out there for folks who are listening. Gaming conventions are a fun thing that you can do, and even if you're in a tiny little podunk state that's very rural, sometimes you're going to have available options for that. Just to venture into the, area around where Ruby and myself live, there are, little comic book and pop culture conventions, but there's also at least one dedicated gaming
Hey,
con.
Ruby, I'm going to accept one of the quests. Can we do the aquatic overpopulation since we're going to be fishing anyway? It's just for perch.
Sure.
And so, yeah, what I recommend for gamers is to check out their local area, see if they have convention options, because that can be a great way to try out a new game that, you are thinking about buying or you don't have a group for and you just want to check out. And so, yeah, this past week I attended the Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio, which is a larger con. I think it is amongst dedicated gaming conventions. I want to say in the United States it's second or third. I'm not sure where PAX Unplugged is in terms of population at this point. Gen Con, of course, is the big one.
Yeah, Gen Con's huge. We have a local one here called PopCon.
Yeah, PopCon is, a general pop culture con, so you've got your comics, you've got your cosplay, you've got some gaming, both video gaming and tabletops. A lot of places have those little pop culture cons, and those can be a great way to get in some gaming. But yeah, Origins is, while it has elements of all this pop culture stuff, it started life as a board game and war game con, and continues to focus on that to this day. And yeah, I've been going since 1998.
Damn, dude. And by the way, we also had the FBI knock on our door from D Chunks.
So yeah, there are all kinds of conventions all around the country. There's I don't know if we have any listeners from the European region, but I think they've got one just called Essen or Essenspiel. That's really, really big. It's kind of like Europe's Gen Con. But yeah, it's a great place to try out RPGs. You can try out board games. You can talk, like Origins has seminars. Like I attended one on, use of props in your tabletop GMing. And not just like visual props, but he talked about like, scent props. You can get like essential oils to do something. A gimmick he had. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you mentioned scent. I saw one person who was playing a character from an anime. I didn't recognize the anime.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I knew guns were a big part of the anime.
Okay.
All right, and they got an oil that, like you said, like essential oil that they made smell like gunpowder.
Yes.
And I felt like it really helped fit the character.
Absolutely. There was actually one vendor at Origins that was selling inexpensive little like plastic beads that had been infused with essential oils, and so you could get like one that was scented towards ancient library. You could get one to like mummy's tomb, and they had a gunpowder one. But yeah, this dude and actually the people at the vendor booth had done the same thing. They suggested like, okay, so you've got this big bad you're planning to use in your game, and you're wanting to really get the players kind of nervous. And so every time you have like the big bad shows up briefly or something, you have this particular scent that goes with them. And then later on, when they're getting close to something and they don't know what, you want to hint that the big bad's up ahead, you can subtly, make that scent available behind your GM screen. And as they start to smell it, they'll start to get nervous, like, what's going on here? You know, they might even not even consciously remember that's the scent for the big bad, so much as they're like just kind of connecting to that scent memory of when we smell this, the big bad is coming subconsciously. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and that the funny thing about scent is it's more emotional memory than like hard memory.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so that helps a lot.
But I highly recommend, you know, if you get the chance to go to even a small local con, check it out. Could be worthwhile.
King Trap Travesty says we have GalaxyCon here.
GalaxyCon, okay. I don't know that one, but
That might be a UK one.
that could be. GalaxyCon. I'll quickly Google that.
Yep. I'm trying to sit here and catch perch.
Oh, there are actually several GalaxyCons. It's like a family of conventions. So there's like one in Raleigh, North Carolina. There's apparently one in Columbus. There's one in Austin, Texas. So it looks like there's a Richmond one. So yeah.
Hey, Faye. How you doing, man? I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Faye Dorian goes, Mandragora's bad breath. Oh, no,
Sure.
no, dog. No, I'm good. I don't need that scent in my house.
Let's see.
Looks
like there's a Minneapolis one as well.
Neat. So yeah, cons are great to go to. I'd highly recommend those. Thank you, King Trap, for the stars. I appreciate that. For me, the only cons I've really been to have been the local one, unless I've worked it.
Right.
The working one that's different. That was up in PA.
Hey.
Hi. Have fun.
Which PA one did you work out of curiosity?
The convention center in Pittsburgh.
Right, but which con was there at the time?
There was a Star Trek con. I dealt with Anthrocon.
Okay.
There was like a pop culture con that was up in the city. I don't know if it's a big one or if it was just a local one. I don't remember. I remember there was a crap ton of people there, but for all I know, that's just because the city is just got that many people in it.
Yeah.
I know Steel City Con's up in Pittsburgh like 4 times a year, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember how many times. It's at least 2, but it might be as many as 4. You're right.
I feel like I've seen, because I follow it on Facebook, so I feel like I'm always seeing a new one coming up.
Yeah, I always see the Steel City Con ads and go, shit, I've already got plans for that weekend. Because I always forget about it. But yeah, Steel City is a great pop culture con. Faye Dorian Jury went to one years ago called BayCon. Nice.
Oh, someone just fireballed you in particular. He aimed that bitch at you, man.
That's all right. I'm an atomic turtle. I can take it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine.
But yeah, Pittsburgh's got like Three Rivers Con. It's got the Pittsburgh Comic Con. It's got like Anthrocon. Just Pittsburgh is a pretty good sized convention city. And really, yeah, cities are going to be your home for cons. I know most of the ones down here are like in Charleston, Huntington, Morgantown, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's one that I really, really, really want to go to. Because I've really only been to the ones around here too. And
Sure.
Pittsburgh and that sort of thing. It used to be called Dark Side of the Con. I think it might now be called Dark Force Fest. It is a gothic and dark alternative music thing. And it's in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Sure.
And it's basically all things goth. It was originally started or sponsored or started, I'm not sure which, by Stabbing Westward, if anyone knows their 90s music.
Okay.
90s, early 2000s, somewhere in there. And it's actually held at the Sheraton Parsippany Hotel, which looks like a big freaking castle.
Nice.
Damn.
I want to go so bad. I'm like, I'm gonna do it one of these years. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna goth out and have a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, audience, if you haven't been able to figure out, yeah, she's a giant goth.
Yeah, sorry. It's I've been doing it since high school. It's fun.
Yeah, so basically being a goth wasn't a phase for you.
No, it wasn't. I'm kind of lazy about it most days, but I'm an adult and I have to do things like work, so
Yeah.
I can only do so much.
Can't goth all the time.
Faye says goths are yummy.
Hey, thank you.
Well, this is also coming from, the person I know who is a giant Drow fan.
Hmm.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, anytime I ever have a question about Drow, I usually ask Fedorian.
But yeah, they're just, you'd be surprised at some of the cities that are able to hold like little conventions. And I would start looking in like college towns, because college kids love to get out and get their freak flag flying, and be it for steampunk stuff or comic books or Star Trek. So yeah, you can find a lot that is where you wouldn't necessarily expect it. You just gotta kind of pay attention and look around for it.
Faye Fox says, I like elves in
Sorry,
general.
I'm slightly distracted working on Stellaris solo game and
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's going on.
I gotta remember I'm on push to talk today instead of my usual voice because everybody's voices in the room are carrying, so...
Right, you don't want 3 people in the same household getting an echo loop.
Excuse me. Yeah, so Faye Fox goes, I like elves in general.
I mean, that's a good call, Faye Fox. Like, elves are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Let's see.
I need me some fish because we need to make a lot of money.
Why do you think I'm fishing?
Where are you fishing?
Ocean.
You know what? I'm gonna go into the mine instead because I do need to level my mining. So, you attended the con this weekend. I did free RPG day.
Yes. And that is another fantastic thing that people should be aware of and taking advantage of.
Yes, free RPG day, for those of you who don't know, is basically when a bunch of comic and gaming stores get together and they essentially have RPG games going on in their store. They usually have little leaflets that they hand out. Hey, one time, welcome, thank you for the Smurf check-in. They have usually little leaflets for games. They also have, like, guys running games for people. So, it's always fun. I did that this weekend where I was running D&D 5e, but set in the world I plan on publishing.
Right.
And it went alright. Like, I wasn't the top game that day, but, I mean, I at least got people.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to argue. I mean, it worked out. Fedorian, like free comic day, but with RPGs. Like, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's fun. Most game shops have all kinds of usually raffles and giveaways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had a bunch of raffles going on for this one, and I won a baby dragon miniature.
Yeah.
In a raffle. The big raffle prize this year, that everybody was going for was a set of this beautiful red and gold and like black dice that looks like it's in a potion.
Nice.
It was gorgeous, and I was like, I really would love that, but I know everybody's going for that, so it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
So I handed my tickets for running a game to my wife, and told her to just put in whatever she thinks is good. Because at that point I was like, I really don't care. The rest of them are interesting, and I don't hate them, but it's just like, the big one I wanted was the dice. And I was like, I'm not getting those.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you got to be strategic with the raffle. But,
Faye
yeah.
Faye
Go ahead.
Faye Fox just went, I have a thing for ears, why I love foxes in general.
Right on.
Alright, go ahead and continue, man.
Yeah, I was just going to follow up on Faye Dory and Jury's comment. Like, the free comic book day is absolutely where they got the idea. Because, yeah, it turned out to be a real boon for comic books to have that kind of exposure. Yes, you're giving away stuff for free that people normally pay for, but holy crap, the return on investment has been big.
Oh,
So-
yeah, massive. I remember seeing it once in a place I worked. It was like a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner didn't like the idea of giving away like a free pita, essentially.
Sure.
And it was to a semi-famous college football guy. Like, not realizing that every time we gave him a free pita, we had like 300 odd people coming into the store.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, we'll eat the cost of one pita and make like God knows how much in profit.
Yeah, you could even talk to the guy and say, hey, would you be willing to take a picture? We can hang on the wall. You know, that's just synergy. And yeah, free comic book day started, and it was just a good way to get kids into comic book stores and give them some free stuff, so then maybe they read the comics and become regular customers. And yeah, free RPG day is the same concept exactly. You get the people in there with some, like, you know, free module for Pathfinder, and a lot of the free RPG Day stuff. It's like, well, I don't have the Pathfinder main book. I can't use this. You might not be able to use that thing, but there are sometimes things that are given that have like quick start rules in them, so you can actually play a basic game and learn.
Yeah, and the other thing is like, you go, oh, I don't have the book, and then you try it when someone's running like one of the games there, and you really like it, and you end up buying the book.
Mm-hmm.
D-Chunk goes, gotta go, bro. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, man. You have a great day as well. But yeah, I feel like free RPG day is kind of like, you know that joke when it comes to dealers? It's like, hey, kid, the first hit's free.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yep.
I hate to associate it with something so negative, but it fits.
I was gonna say, did you just compare RPGs to drugs?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it can become addictive.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's just a very funny comparison.
I feel like I've just done the whole meme in person of like, he's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god.
Same thing with crafting, though. Once you get the kids started, you know they're never going to have money for drugs because they're always going to be spending it on craft supplies.
Or Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah, you want a bank account? That's adorable.
Wait, isn't cosplaying like that too?
Not
It
as
can
bad
be.
not as bad as 40k. I guarantee it.
Probably not, but
Are you the red man?
Dark Heretic, thank you for the check-in from Kronks, Bullets, and Smurfs. Hey, Fedorian, we're back in the 80s, folks. Hi.
Hey, what's wrong with the 80s?
Are you the red person?
the 80s are the best.
Are you the red guy that have?
Yeah, I'm the red guy. Yeah, oh my god, there's... Jesus. But yeah, I got to do free RPG Day. It was fun. I had 4 players for my game, which worked out really nicely. We were able to run a neat little short adventure. I didn't get to finish it, but I got close. And they loved the monster I came up with that was a custom.
Nice.
So what I did with the monster was I didn't make the monster itself very deadly. And so they're thinking, oh, this is just like a not the boss monster, but some sort of weird monster that just happens to have a lot of HP.
Right.
And it turned out it was like, no, that's not exactly accurate. And they kind of looked at me funny, and I go, you guys we didn't get a chance to really do the whole fight. And they're like, that's true. And I go, it keeps coming back. Like, anytime they brought it to 0 HP, it would teleport randomly into the dungeon and respawn at full HP.
Okay.
And then it would start hunting you again.
Interesting.
So the idea was it was just this constant, relentless hunter that just harasses you to death.
I actually kind of really like that idea, actually.
Well, it works for the monster too, because the monster's goal is not to kill you. The monster's goal was to get you out of the dungeon.
Interesting.
Because it was a magical construct. And the owners of the dungeon didn't want to just outright kill everybody. They just wanted them to leave their property alone.
Right.
Both of you, cards, now!
Papa Hollow, hey buddy, how's it going? I hope you're having a great time, my dude. Fedorian, War of Attrition? Yes, War of Attrition. Papa, hey Ruby, how are you doing tonight, brother? I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing great. So yeah, it was an interesting little critter. Like, the best way I could describe its behavior is essentially the guard dog. It's just there to scare you away.
Tells people to get off my damn lawn.
Doing good, man. I just finished my dinner, so relaxing for a bit now. Awesome. So, we covered our recent events. Let's cover some other recent events that we kind of wanted to talk about that are a little messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say the first one being the submarine that has finally been discovered.
Yeah. I have deeply mixed feelings on that. I mean, there have been people making jokes because it essentially was 5 very rich people that, in their hubris, have gotten themselves crushed to death. But I really feel bad for at least 4 of those people, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this is why boys and guys, gals, and non-binary pals, that you do proper safety checks.
Yeah, the one I don't feel bad for is the dude that owned the company who was, using non-standard materials. Like, okay, you don't have to use metal, but, he built it out of carbon fiber, and it was experimental, and, what I don't know is how effectively he communicated the risks of that to the other 4 passengers. So, yeah. I think he got a little high on his own supply, and maybe 4 people paid with their lives.
All right, I've been given Alex. I need to find out what Alex wants.
I feel like I read somewhere everyone was talking about how they felt sorry for the 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there was something, like, he didn't want to do it or something like that, and I can kind of see feeling bad for him.
Yeah.
I think we both got the same character, Kenny.
Alex?
Yeah.
How? We're supposed to get different people.
I don't know, but it says Alex.
I don't know. I also have mixed feelings. Like, don't get me wrong. I feel bad for the people and the fact that they died and it was a waste of life and all that jazz. But as one person put it, and I think this was the best way to describe it, they dehumanized themselves. Like, billionaires have been doing that for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why it's difficult to feel bad for them. Because, you know, a lot of people these days don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much wrong with things today that can be laid at the feet of too much money concentrated in the hands of too few people. And it's hard not to look at someone who has, you know, billions of dollars and go, you know, you're part of why the world sucks.
Faye Fox goes, honestly, I laughed about it, too.
And, you know, I understand that reaction. I have seen people who are joking about it and laughing about it. I've seen people scolding the people joking and laughing about it. And honestly, I understand where both those kinds of reactions are coming from.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
There's a lot, but it's just, man, I feel bad for at least 4 of those 5 people, like I said.
Yeah. The other fun news thing that we were discussing kind of sort of yesterday, and we're getting more into it now, is Russia getting into pretty much a civil war.
Yeah.
So
Did not have that on my bingo card, but
It's about due again, though.
I guess it has been about 100 years.
yeah. But yeah, I didn't have Russian mercenaries attacking their capital on my bingo card either.
Yeah.
Hey, Pepto Klepto, thank you for the Smurf love. I appreciate it, my dude. Welcome. Faye Fox goes, I have a sick sense of humor. Hey, we all have weird senses of humor.
Wait, Pepto Klepto?
Yeah, Pepto Klepto.
I'm sorry, the text on the screen I'm looking at is kind of small. I did not realize. That is an awesome name. I just want to throw that out there. I love it.
So I kind of am laughing about the fact that the Wagner Group is pretty much looking at Russia and going, hey, we'd like it if you gave us some actual bullets for our guns and, you know, paid us and stopped bombing us constantly.
Yeah. The Wagner Group has been, you know, undersupplied. They've been shot at. And then they were told that everybody in the Wagner Group, that it was going to be dissolved and they were going to just be forced to sign up in the Russian military. And nobody liked any of that. So it did not go over well.
I would imagine not. It was just this weird collection of what the hell were people thinking that caused this to happen.
Well, and I think part of it was just that, you know, the guy Prigozhin, and I'm sure I'm butchering that. I'm not, you know, proficient in the Russian language, but he has been allowed to accumulate so much power that he was going to be a problem for Putin sooner or later. And the fact that Putin was like, you know what, your entire mercenary group, I want them to be soldiers in my army under my control now. That was never going to go smoothly.
Yeah, I believe he is chosen poorly.
Yeah, so...
Fedorian, by the way, put it in. It goes, deep loathing for Putin for a while, thanks. When is the final straw going to drop?
Yeah, I don't see a long and prosperous future for old Vladdy.
I would, like, as I was telling Gamera yesterday, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he had an accident within the week.
Yeah, I think we were speculating as to the manner. I was guessing window, which is so very, very popular in Russia.
So you're saying defenestration?
Yes, defenestration. It's a classic in the Slavic world, dating back to several in Prague in the medieval and Renaissance period.
Yeah, I was going with either poison or a bullet because it's more efficient. Like
I was voting them going the way of the Romnikovs.
Who?
Honestly, efficient, but also boring. Might as well make a big display of it. Whoop.
that's true. I think she meant the Romanovs.
Oh, the Romanov. Yeah, got it.
Yes, I mispronounced it. My apologies.
Nope, not a problem. Just did not process that for a second.
I mean, depending on how tough Putin is, we could be dealing with a Rasputin situation.
Putin is not in the best of health from all indications. There has been widespread speculation in the news, and everybody's microanalyzing everything, but even to an untrained, non-medical eye, it looks like he's got some kind of tremor thing going on. So I think a lot of the speculations, like, does he have, like, Parkinson's or something like that?
That's fair.
And so it's like, how steady is he? You know, if someone poisons him a little, is he going to just collapse like a house of cards? Yeah, don't know.
For all we don't know, and that's the way it is. All right, there's not really much to talk about on that subject left.
No. It's just a fascinating thing that is going on in the world around us that, yeah, trying to stay aware of.
Yep. All right. Give me a second. Let's find out what the next topic is. Give me a second.
Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn.
All right. Come on. Let me do display capture. Thank you. All right. There we go. Worst character ever seen played.
Ooh.
Oh, there should be some winners.
That's
on this
a rich topic.
That's a spicy
Pacifist
topic.
in the Jedi campaign, in the Star Wars campaign.
That's certainly up there.
Oh my god, that was horrifying. I don't understand why he thought it was such a good idea.
No, he's great. He's got two modes. He either builds a fantastic character or useless.
Yeah.
Dark Heretic is burning the dank whatever meat. I don't have a term. Damn it.
Spicy dank.
Yeah, the spicy dank.
So, let me think. Worst character I've ever seen played. I mean, there are levels to this, and I've seen people play some very mundane, bad things. Just like, oh, I'm going to play the party troll, and I'm just going to mess with everybody, and that's always really shitty. Gotta think about, truly terrible, though. I want something ineffective. Well, now, I mean, I do have an example. I don't even know if it was intended to be a troll or not, but... So I played in a 4th edition game, and it was okay. 4th edition is not as bad as, it's sometimes made out to be. It's still probably the least good Dungeons and Dragons, except maybe 2nd edition, but that's my own version.
I don't know. I would debate that because, like, for me, I'd say 2nd ed is slightly better than 4th, but not by much.
Yeah, maybe. Depends on my mood. But anyway, was in a Dark Sun game. And as is usual for a Dark Sun game, all the player characters started out as slaves. We were basically mining slaves that were owned by some, group that was forcing us to mine. And then we were being transported from one mine to another location. And we staged an escape, and we got out, and thus began our adventuring career. So far, pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty standard laissez-faire for Dark Sun.
We had a barbarian in the party. I forget if he was human or half giant. He might have been half giant. But the half giant had two quirks that we would eventually learn about. One, he was severely claustrophobic and could not tolerate enclosed spaces.
We're doing fine,
And I'll
Blinerd.
pause
How are
here
you
to
doing, buddy?
acknowledge, hey, Blinerd, who is saying hello to us.
Yep, Blinerd is. Yep.
We're doing okay. So yeah, the claustrophobia thing came, I think, the first time we had to go into, a cave to travel underground. And, like, here's my disconnect with the claustrophobia. One, of course, in Dungeons and Dragons, you don't really have a flawed system. If you take a severe phobia, you are essentially just reducing the effectiveness for your character for your own benefit, and that can be okay. The problem with claustrophobia in specific for a game called Dungeons and Dragons is that at some point you're going to be in a dungeon. And
yeah.
the claustrophobia is going to be a problem. And
Hey, Papa, you have a great night too, man. All right.
And so, yeah, the first time we go underground and this player of this character is like, okay, I need to make a will save, to see if I'm able to function. And I'm like,
Are you
okay.
over there?
And I think at one point he failed one and it just, curled up into a fetal position. And my character, chaotic neutral, like you survivor, because in Dark Sun, your characters are more survivors than heroes. At least that's always how I've interpreted it. It's like, you know what? We just leave him here. Let's go. But he did manage to stick around with us
That's reasonable.
long enough later to get mind controlled to nearly kill another party member. But the first time we made it to a city, sorry, let me back up. The other thing about claustrophobia is we were mining slaves. How did this not come up before? Which leads into my other point. The first time we get to a city, this guy reveals that his character is addicted to drugs. And I'm like, dude, we have been slaves for months in a mine. You have detoxed whatever you were on. You're not addicted anymore. And he's like, no, my character's addicted. And I'm just like, seriously? We have to do this. Everything became about what roadblocks this one player was throwing up between us and our adventure, and I began to resent it quite a bit. So at this point, with the drug addiction suddenly popping up, I'm like, okay, you know what? My character has a good deception skill. I'm going to tell his character that I found some of his drug in the market, and I'm just going to basically give him some, like, oregano or some shit. And I made my deception check, and he believed it, and we were able to move on with our lives. But that character was just so ineffective, and like I said, later on, he got mind-controlled at one point in a fight, and killed one of our party members or knocked him down, and it's like he did more damage to the party and to the pace of the plot than he did to our opponents, which was just frustrating.
I imagine that would frustrate the shit out of me constantly. It'd be like, dude, you are not helping the party. You are doing the exact opposite. You are helping the villain. Why are you helping the villain?
Yeah, and I think I also, this is more of a pet peeve thing, I loaned the player a pencil at one point, and it was one of the little plastic tabs on the side, like the clip, and he just sat there and fiddled with it until it snapped off. I'm like, dude, you just borrowed that from me, and you snapped it. What's wrong with you?
The nerd says he started running a solo of this game recently, been enjoying it. Oh yeah, this game's great.
So yeah, that would probably be the worst character I've ever seen played, at least the one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's a fair one.
Am I allowed to talk White Wolf here?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's any nerd topic or tabletop or LARP or whatever.
Okay, because I have
Where'd you go? I wanted to run you over.
of White Wolf, and it's not a particular player. It's a
Mhm.
habit of a lot of players.
Okay.
Full-blown stereotypes, like especially in, I want to refer to Vampire the Masquerade here.
Sure.
Full-blown just stereotypes kind of like irk me a little bit unless you're like a brand new player, which at that point I totally get.
Right.
But something I've seen way too many times that I care to count are fluffy bunny Malkavians. And they
Okay.
drive me crazy. They're the ones who run around in bunny suits like, oh my god, I'm so crazy. It's like, okay. Most Malkavians, you don't even realize they're crazy. They're not like that, and just like, it annoys me because it's like they just want to be obnoxious for the attention. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And it drives me insane. And inevitably, every time I've seen it, all they do is cause problems. Like, for everyone. And
Yeah.
it's just like, come on, be a little more. Like, one of the best Malkavians I ever saw played,
Oh my
which I know this is supposed to be worse, sorry, but
Give me Nacho, give me 1 second. You remember how you were talking about fluffy bunny Malkavians?
yeah.
We just had someone come in the chat named the Clueless Bunny.
No, it's funny. I'm
Hi.
not saying you.
All right, sorry. We just want to say hi, Bunny. You have some interesting timing.
But, like, literally no one in game even knew they were a Malkavian.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the whole Malkavian shtick is they have some sort of derangement, what's called a derangement, which is generally based off of mostly mental illnesses,
Sure. Yep.
And, like, this person, I saw their sheet, they had, like, 3 derangements. But you would have never known because of how they played it. You know what I mean? And I mean, they weren't, like, really obvious deranged. They weren't, like, really, like, it wasn't, like, depression.
Right.
They were, like, serious. And if you actually paid attention to the character and looked at little things like, he would take the university newspaper and work on the crossword, but what he'd be writing in were things like, someone help me, the voices are out. And, like, he never talked about the voices. But if you paid attention to his character, it would come out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But no one ever thought to look at things like that. And I absolutely loved how that was played, especially when you get besieged with the fluffy bunny Malkavians all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that kind of stuff that's done specifically to cause problems and get attention. Anytime that happens, it drives me insane because, like, it detracts from the game, in my opinion. If you're literally just doing it so that the attention can be on you.
Totally agree. I've actually heard that stereotype referred to as fish malks. Like fish Malkavians. I don't know what the original reference is, but it's something that I've heard people. They're playing up the insanity for the lulz, and I think you're right in saying it's like largely to do with the attention factor. Because you want the attention. You want to
Thanks,
get
Paralyzed
the
Player.
spotlight on you.
I appreciate
And
that.
that's nice to have sometimes, but usually the people who do that are the ones that are like, but the spotlight should be on me all the time.
Exactly. And they're always the ones who, once things are quiet or we're trying to resolve something, that's, of course, the opportune moment that their insanity kicks in. And, I mean, it just, like I said, it just causes so many problems for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for me, the one I had that was the worst is also a White Wolf game. And that was these 2 gentlemen who, anytime one of them played in the game and the other was the guy running the game, which was usually the case, no one else was allowed to do anything. No one else could interact. We were just there as support characters for this one player.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep. I know exactly who you're talking about, too.
And oh my god, was it so frustrating because it's like, look, man, I don't get a lot of free time to play these games because you guys keep it running until, like, well after I have to go to work, because at the time I was working at midnight. And so it's like, I literally am taking some of my free work time that I could be using to relax to come to your game to enjoy it, and you're literally just having me sit there and twiddle my goddamn thumbs.
Yep.
And that was so bad. Though a close second for me would be the new player Ranger, who, how do I put this? I was playing a halfling rogue, alright? And this is 3-5. And so my job was disarming traps, things of that nature. Hey, thank you, Mr. Noise, for the Smurf love. Fedoria goes, Edgelords, just die already.
Yes.
Paralyzed player goes Smurf and Bullet. Thank you so much for your check-ins. I appreciate that. Anyway, so I was playing this rogue, and my job was traps. That's what I thought. In reality, they wanted me to be more of a social rogue, and they didn't tell me this.
Whoops.
Oh yeah, that was annoying. Like, we even had a session 0, and it's just like, okay, why wasn't this mentioned before? Like, what the hell? But what made it worse was, we went into a wizard's tower, and a trap goes off, like it's a pit trap, and I'm like, okay, I'll avoid it. And so I was used to always moving my own piece when I avoided a trap to say, hey, this is where I'm going.
Right.
So I happened to land exactly on another trap, and I got lightning bolted by the trap.
Whoops.
So my character goes to incapacitated. He's not dead, he's just incapped. A undead wizard from the higher floor comes down. He basically runs off, realizing there's a group of adventurers here and that his plans are getting discovered, so he flees. And you would think, okay, that's all fair and well and good. Our friend Matt was playing a cleric.
Mm-hmm.
And he was told to play a cleric because, you know, we needed a cleric. So, because we were told we needed a cleric, he thought we needed someone to deal with undead. Which is a fair assessment based on, you know what clerics do. They're either heals or undead killers. And he hated playing heal bots, so I was like, yeah, probably undead things. So he sees an undead and goes after it. And he tells the party's ranger, who was the girlfriend of one of the other players, if not the DM, I forget which, that they should keep an eye on my body, so to make sure that nothing bad happens to me.
Right.
Now, in this room, there was, like, another statue, there were a few other things, and an unlocked chest. Those of you who have been playing D&D for long enough have come to realize where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, she decides, I'm gonna go open the unlocked chest in a room filled with traps.
Oops.
Yeah. So the room immediately gets fireballed, and I die.
Yep.
And so everybody starts pointing at each other, saying whose fault it was for me dying, so on and so forth. Matt got the blame from the group because he was the cleric and he should have healed me. Because that's what clerics are supposed to do, is heal.
Yeah, that's one of the things that generally falls to them.
Yeah, but, like, I understand why he did what he did, because there was
Absolutely, yeah.
there was an undead there.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a cleric, I would have been like, yeah, keep an eye on him, don't do anything stupid, and I'll be back to heal him later when we're done with the actual threat.
Yeah.
At least that's what makes sense to me.
Sure.
It's 11 p.m. I just realized that I almost am oversleeping. Whoopsie. Oh, it wasn't a mimic. No, it was just a fireball chest. It just went off and killed me.
Right. Generally speaking, though, if you've got a party member down and, in danger of dying, you don't want to do anything that could change the environment in a way that it increases their risk. And, yeah, opening the unlocked chest is like, Yeah, it could be a trap. It could not be a trap. But why take the chance? Just wait.
It's not like she had to do it right then and there. That was like the most, I would say, bad new player I came across. But I will say I will forgive her for the fact that, one, she was a new player, and two, the game was extremely poorly explained to pretty much everybody.
Okay.
Because, like, I was told to be the wrong kind of rogue, Matt was told to be the wrong kind of cleric. Like, essentially, Session 0 was filled with lies.
Lies and omissions.
Yeah, it was just like, this is no bueno. We needed a better version of Session 0 for these yahoos. But also, at the same time, I should have known better. Because this is also the same group of people that, in the LARPs, all like to basically circle jerk each other. Not literally, but figuratively.
I understand, but it's still funny.
Oh, yeah. It was just... There were times where they just did things where if you weren't in the clique, you didn't get to do things. And it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's gotten to a point where if any of them are ever running a game again, I refuse to play in it. I won't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because let's be brutally honest, no D&D is better than bad D&D. Or, in this case, bad RPGs.
100% agree. I will say, yeah, on that note, I have recently ended my association with an online game I was in, and it was difficult for me because I always feel like, you know, I'm an integral part of this group. If I quit, they're going to have to scramble to find somebody to do stuff, especially since in this case I was the cleric. But just, man, I don't know how much detail to go into, but the long and short of it was that we were playing through several different kinds of campaigns, and I say campaigns, but what I really mean is we do an adventure with Call of Cthulhu, we did an adventure with Pulp Cthulhu, we did an adventure with Savage Worlds Rifts, then we did an adventure with Pathfinder, and we were in the Pathfinder one. And it was a standard Pathfinder adventure path adventure. And it started out fine, but it was very clear that this was a combat and exploration game. And combat was kind of the emphasis, not really a lot of role-playing. So that kind of checked me out a little bit. The GM was, one, playing all the bad guys very optimal tactics, which is, again, fine. But the other thing was that the GM's dice he was rolling were fucking hot. And what I mean by that is, like, it was memorable anytime he rolled less than a 16. So he was tearing us apart. And this was a 7-person Pathfinder party, so it was a big, slow-moving mess every time we got into combat. And so it was a grind fest, and he was playing optimally, and his dice were killing us. But, like, there was a fight where we were like, okay, you know, maybe this guy, our monk, gets a cover bonus because he's, you know, behind this, you know, corner of this door. And, you know, we had set it all up. He was making his attack roll, and someone at the last minute goes, oh yeah, does he get a cover bonus? GM loses his temper and says, fine, he gets a fucking cover bonus. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude. You are playing every little bonus you can against us. You can't get pissed off at us for doing the same thing back. We literally were under-leveled by a level, and despite our, you know, large group, we had a paladin who had taken a special archetype that let him access essentially a low-level raised dead by doing like all of his lay on hands for the day, and we had 4 of our 7 members killed by that point. And the only reason we hadn't had to do replacement characters is because that paladin guy was able to raise the dead.
Hey AP, how's it going? And thank you, Reese Puffs Goated, for the lurk.
And so
That
it just
sounds like a nightmare, man.
it was a very grindy game. He had a temper. The other thing was it was a hybrid game, so he had some people there in person. I was participating remotely through Discord. There weren't cameras. So basically every little tick box for a bad D&D game you could have was kind of there, and it just finally burned me out, coupled with the fact that I just wanted some Sundays free again. And so I finally made my excuses and bowed out. I sent them my cleric character sheet and like, sorry, I can't really continue, but here's the character sheet if someone wants to run him as an NPC.
All right.
So
welcome, Crabadocious, to the tavern. Crabadocious. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my tavern.
Kind of the same way with one of Ruby's players. There was a male that wanted to come back, and I told Kenny that if he starts playing again in our games, I will be leaving because I just can't deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He had this habit, and it was really annoying that he had to bring politics into games.
Oh boy.
And he was not of the same political affiliation as everybody else.
Yep.
So, like, he had to be right, the rest of us had to be wrong, but he wasn't, like, super argumentative about it. Like, he wasn't like, oh, you're wrong, da-da-da. Like, no. He just wanted to discuss it to death until eventually we just wanted to stop talking, and we would just agree with whatever the fuck he said to get him to stop talking.
Yeah, see, knowing my own psychology as I do, that would be a recipe for disaster for me, because I would say, no, you're wrong, and we're not going to discuss it at my table, so if you want to keep talking about it, you can do so somewhere off my property. And that would definitely piss him off and escalate things.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick shout out to Crabadocious. That is a friend of mine. Thank you so much for showing up. Love you.
We appreciate that.
Right on, Crabadocious.
Right on! Alright, I did have one player that I don't want to say he's bad, he was just really weird. And this was back when I was in culinary school, he played a barbarian. And he did the Conan meme barbarian.
Okay.
Like, he was constantly quoting the old movies, was doing things like Conan would.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but I can see where it could go bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that it was a bad thing, it was just more of a weird, annoying quirk when it was happening all the time.
Sure.
AP says my Wi-Fi is crapping out on me. Ugh. Aw, AP.
AP.
We need to help AP one day, get her Wi-Fi fixed. Hashtag Wi-Fi for AP.
New AP access point for AP.
And I am so bored this winter because I am trying to earn the money that I'm about to blow as soon as the spring rolls around.
Yeah, so in Stardew Valley, Anne has this habit of basically, the first of every season, taking our entire budget and just blowing it on seeds.
Hey, I make it all back and then some by the end of the season.
Yeah, it's just the beginning of the season's always rough. That is very true. I'm trying to think though. Morgue Dwellers X was also on my top list of bad players.
Oh my god, I've heard the stories about him, and I can honestly say I've never had the displeasure of being at a gaming table with him.
Spotlight whore.
I did have the displeasure of trying to coordinate some like furniture moving with him, and my god, what an arrogant dumbass.
Yeah, we were in a WAD game with him, and oh my god, he had to have the spotlight at all times.
Yep.
Wait, who was this? Someone I know or no?
It's Morgue Dweller's X. I don't know if you know him. If you do, you would have hated him. I'm trying to think what else though. His WAD thing, like I remember we had like a bunch of players initially, like it was like a dozen, because I was fully expecting people to drop, so that's why I went with like so many. And we went.
And you know how well that works in your game.
Yeah, we went from a dozen people to 3.
Yep.
Which is not normal for his game.
Yeah, person in question has a major ego issue, and none of what I heard about that game surprised me at all.
I would say the second time we ran it went way better.
Oh yeah.
Just throwing this out there, I do actually know this person, and I've known them for 20 years.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So hopefully
So you agree that he's the dick?
He's yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that. He's
Remember when I said you're not the first person GTFO from somebody? Yeah. His girlfriend. Got it.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit for a variety of reasons.
I've heard stories. He's always been nice to me personally.
Welcome, traveler.
But I've heard enough stories that I'm like,
All right.
You know what I mean?
Welcome, Cowan, to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun. Don't fireball my goddamn tavern.
Yeah, his modus operandi seems to be really nice to someone until he's in a position to sort of cut them off and exploit them, which I have understood him to do to numerous people.
God damn it, AP with the fireballs.
That's yeah, that sounds about right.
All right.
Did you know that he became a lawyer?
God,
I did, in fact, know that recently.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Okay, there it goes. What the hell? All right, God help us all. All right, let us spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
Well, the wheel will spin while I hydrate. Nom nom nom.
Every time Sadie plays a bard.
The bard seduction trope. Okay, so let us explain this to the people who are here because they may not know what the fuck we're talking about. Who wants to cover this?
I mean, it's very well worn in the community at this point, but in the basic sense, there is a stereotype of bards as horny and wanting to jump the bones of anything with even remotely compatible physiology that they run across.
I want to note something. He didn't say a pulse.
Right. One of my favorite alleged bard quotes is, "I fucked my way into this trouble and I'll fuck my way out."
Oh my god.
Or Snake Girl trying to screw a dragon to get themselves out of trouble, and it would have worked, and all the rules said it worked, the DM said no.
See also, what's his name? Scanlan from Critical Role. Classic horny bard trope. And it can be played well. And of course, you can have a bard that's, not generally the horny trope, but just might be particularly attracted to one, bad guy in particular. But yeah, basically the stereotype for people playing bards in D&D is that they wanna hump everything.
I've
And-
done this once. I was in a pirate game,
Okay.
and I played the stereotypical horny bard. And instead of fucking my way out of problems, I fucked my way to the top of the ship. I was first mate because I was boning the female captain.
I mean, good on you.
I don't know how I succeeded in that, but I'm going with it.
I have never played the horny bard trope. It is not generally something. I don't really do the whole sex and romance things with my characters. It's not something I tend to want to explore. The bard I'm playing right now is kind of a party guy, but that's mostly backstory. Like, he's very popular and friendly, and he likes to go drink and do things, but we haven't attended any parties in the context of actual play sessions, so this is just background flavor. Like, everybody thinks he's just like this good time himbo guy, but he's really, this brilliant planner. It's what's the TV tropes term? Crouching Mora on Hidden Badass. One of my favorite tropes. And yeah, Fedorian, you are absolutely correct. It does not have to be bard specific. Bards do tend to get the, I want to say the most memeage.
I would say mileage.
Yeah, that's fair too.
It's basically any high charisma class tends to do it.
Yeah, you don't really see the horny
Sorcerer,
paladin.
warlock.
Sure, sorcerer, warlock. But yeah, not too many horny paladins. I guess it could be done.
I mean, if you follow the one-time questers channel, I mean, he has the paladin that throws it back.
Oh yes, the paladin of throwing it back.
Yeah, I mean that might be the best example of the horny paladin.
Now that's not necessarily horny. That's just dancing for their god.
Give me a second. I have a song I just remembered. I'll have to find it. So give me a moment. Just keep talking. I got this.
All right. Fedorian says they favor rogues themselves. I generally am more likely to play a rogue than a bard. I do enjoy a sneaky bastard from time to time.
I have discovered I like playing clerics.
Sure. I mean, I guess you can have a horny cleric.
I am a fan of playing rogues. I like to be a skill monkey when I do.
Yeah.
I was bored and kind of.
All right, I think I found it.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. It's called Not Mine. I thought I'd have some cosmic horror. Turns out I'm a cosmic horror.
Oh dear.
So here we go.
I was bored and kind of horny. Figured I'd pick up a book. Found the Necronomicon. Thought that I should take a look. I did the chants and did the dance, and much to my surprise, I found an ancient deity with tentacles and glowing eyes. He poured some wine and said, "Let's have some fun." But now Cthulhu knows why they call me the Deep One. I fuck Cthulhu good. I thought I'd have some cosmic horror. Turns out
Okay,
I'm
we
a
get the
cosmic
hint.
whore. I fuck Cthulhu good.
It's
No
almost.
casualties
It's
or
almost over.
sacrifices. Only thing getting buried here was wood.
Yeah. I love one-shot questers because they do some funny shit. So yes, you could do all kinds of heinous stuff as the horny bard. I remember seeing one video where someone was like, their character hadn't gotten laid in a while, and so they decided they were fighting a lich, that they were going to try to seduce the lich.
Sure.
And the DM replied, like, looked at him and replied, was like, "Boy, have you lost your mind? Because I will help you find it."
Yep.
It's like, oh my god. So, the horny bard meme can be done well. Like, for example, if you want a good example of done well, Scanlan. Scanlan's a great example, like you brought up earlier. Because he has a reason for doing it. But doing it to just do it is kind of, not great.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you want to make that a major part of your character, if it's not just like an impulse, like, oh man, this villain is particularly attractive, I want to have my character try to seduce this villain. If it's something that you're like, I want to play the horny bard and just kind of, do that throughout the game, talk to your players and your GM in session 0, see if they're okay with you doing that. If they all find it funny and, they want to indulge that, great. But if they don't, be prepared that, maybe don't do that, because it is going to take away playtime. It is going to take away spotlight. And you don't want to do that if the party's not on board.
Pepto goes, I like multi-class and trying different things, honestly. Current backup for a campaign is a rogue fighter.
Right on.
That's a really good choice. Now, I've seen one example of this meme done well, other than Scanlan. I'm talking about in a game I've played it.
Okay.
Where a guy was playing the seducing style character. He was a rogue. And he also took levels in Monk. Okay? And you're thinking, like, what the hell's going on with this guy? He built James Bond in D&D.
Okay.
And so, he wasn't just seducing everybody. He would seduce particular targets in order to accomplish the goal.
Sure.
Especially when it came to gathering information. Like, he was doing it all the time to do that. But he also didn't sleep with them more often than not. He would just seduce them, show them a good time, like dinner or drinks or something, and then just send them on their merry way.
Right.
And that was kind of cool. Like, I thought it was a neat idea. He did a good job with it.
Absolutely.
And if it didn't detract from the game, it actually helped the game quite a bit. Especially when the BBEG got so frustrated with him. Like, at one point, the BBG's like, I'm just going to cut off your genitalia just to slow you down, hopefully. And at which point, this guy was like a master of wit. I swear to the gods. Like, he was very witty, very clever. He just turned and looked at a clerk and goes, "You have regeneration access as a spell, right?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Awesome. All right, go ahead, cut it off. I'll get it back again. It'll probably be better next time."
Wow.
I was like, damn.
I mean, I don't want to call him cocky, but very appropriate. Oh yeah, Faye Dorian mentions another way to twist that is the hopeless romantic, where it's not that you're trying to bone everything you come across, it's just that your character kind of falls in love or crushes very easily.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. You see that a lot in anime, actually. Where the person just really likes the character, but they can never tell their true feelings because they just coward or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, but it is a trope for a reason.
I will say in my my game that I'm running for my group, that's kind of my Guardians of the Galaxy style game, In the most recent session, they ran into one of the 4 big generals that are serving the Galactic Tyrant, who is kind of their big bad for the game. And the one they ran into is kind of like this. He looks like a 70 or 80-year-old dude in good shape, and he's kind of like a sword duelist, very legendary skills, but he's got this sense of honor. And they run into him in the context of they're trying to take down this unethical weapons designer, and then they find out that, hey, this general doesn't really like this guy either. He's just here to, try to lean on this guy and maybe get some special stuff for his own use, despite the fact he detests him. But anyway, one of the party members is an older lady who is a veteran, who basically lost the use of her legs in a starfighter crash in an earlier war, but also awoke her psychic abilities. So she's the group telepath and telekinetic. And Grandma was feeling a little bit of that Silver Fox action. She was just like, "Oh yeah, she is really liking this guy." So it was kind of that unexpected click for the character, just to see, like, okay, this is an NPC that's theoretically on the other side that one of our characters actually might relate to quite a bit, which was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's fun to like have a hero and a villain kind of have a fling. There's nothing wrong with that. Cowan, yeah, this game is fun as hell. I enjoy it. Apparently, I think AP loved the song because she went LOL amazing.
Why don't you come over here where I can run you over?
Why is my wife constantly trying to run me over in this game?
I don't know.
She's sitting here waiting.
It's fun.
Run! She's chasing me!
Honestly, just because it's fun.
God damn it, she's like, I'll hit you with it.
You know, all marriages end in strange ways. Some people get a Dear John letter. You're about to get a John Deere letter.
Oh, my lungs, they hurt.
That was good.
Oh, dude, that was really witty. My hat's off to you on that one. Damn.
Brilliant. Very well done.
He's trying to die now.
I need oxygen. Oh, God.
Oxygen is important to many biological processes. I highly recommend it.
I remember reading this story about, like, someone did a sci-fi story. It was a Humans or Space Orc style story. And
yes,
they made the joke that was like, why don't we ever go to this little blue planet with these weird monkey people? And it's like, no, don't go there. They breathe death.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the death breathers live.
Yeah, because oxygen is a gas that, destroys a lot of things. Oxidation is basically what fire is.
Oh, yeah. Fadorian goes, or a campaign where I had very one-sided romance with Anastasia of Pathfinder. I remember this. That was Squidgy's game. Yeah, she had a major crush on an innkeeper's innkeeper, who turned out to be someone important, but got ran out of their area.
Sure. I'm trying to think if I've ever had anybody really pull the horny bard trope. One of the people in my current gaming group is a bit of a scaly. And so she really has a thing for, dragons and lizard folk and that sort of thing.
Oh my.
And so she has, I guess, I'm trying to think. She had a character that was definitely at least joked about in that way, like, she wants to sleep with this dragon, that character, etc. But for the most part, she didn't actually do it in character. It was mostly her making OOC jokes about herself and her character, which I think was fine and, didn't take up a whole bunch of, screen time, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you could do it in all kinds of fun ways that are just weird and bizarre but entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have it going on in any of my games currently.
Yeah.
The Saturday game I'm playing in right now, I kind of had an elf I was working out with fairly well until I had to leave the game. And
Right.
then someone else decided to pursue a relationship with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, that's your stick. I was just trying to be friends. Like, I've always been of the mindset that if a relationship happens in game, it happens.
Sure.
I don't go out of my way to cause it, but if it happens to come up, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm down with the idea. It doesn't always work out, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let me see. Let me deal with these monsters real quick. Alright. Alright. Let's see what we got. Okay, ding, 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 ding. I love the confetti on this. Worst fictional business.
Okay.
Now, I think this is going to be not just in games we've played, but also any sci-fi.
I mean, I think it would have to be. And do we mean worst in the sense of, most morally corrupt, or worst in the sense of most ineffective?
Let's do each. One that's the most morally corrupt, and one that is the least effective.
Okay.
For me, one of the most morally corrupt ones, and I would say also near the top of the chart for effectiveness, is Wayland Yutani.
Yeah, I think that's the one we mentioned briefly when you were adding that option to the wheel, and yeah, it's hard to beat Wayland Yutani for kind of like fictional evil megacorp.
I would say OCP gives a run for the money.
Absolutely. OCP was going to be one that I mentioned, which is just absolutely the best. Wayland Yutani is more, galaxy spanning. OCP's really just big in, old Detroit. But holy shit, yeah, OCP is right up there. Wolfram and Hart is a example I like to use. I don't know, did you watch Angel at all?
I've seen enough.
Yes.
I've seen enough to know what Wolfram and Hart is. How about you, Nadja?
No. Not something I'm familiar with. Sorry.
All right. So,
Okay.
Kendra, do you want to go over what Wolfram and Hart is for Nadja and the audience, so they understand the ineptitude and insanity of this?
Wolfram and Hart
It's not
is...
so much ineptitude as it is you're literally making a deal with the demons.
Well, let him go for it.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfram and Hart, I think, is a brilliant concept. As much as I like to occasionally crap on Joss Whedon as a cheesy hack writer these days, there are occasional flashes of brilliance, and this might be the other writers working with him. Whoever came up with the idea of, let's take a law firm, and instead of just making it an evil law firm, we're literally going to make it an evil law firm. And it is a law firm founded by actual demonic powers, referred to in the text as the wolf, the ram, and the hart. So Wolfram and Hart. And it's essentially a law firm that knows about the existence of the supernatural, that serves the interests of the evil supernatural community, and is one of the recurring nemeses on the Angel spinoff of Buffy. and it's a fantastic concept. Like I said, evil law firm, like that's classic. You want the corrupt evil law firm, but this one's literally in league with the demons and devils.
Yeah, it's basically the law firm of hell.
Yeah. They have multi-dimensional contacts, and honestly, one of the greatest swerves in the Angel series is towards the end of the series when basically Wolfram and Hart, the powers that be, as they're referred to, basically say, you know what, Angel, you beat us. Congratulations. We're putting you in charge of the firm. And he's like, what?
Yeah, he was totally confused, and then... and it was the best way to corrupt the good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever came up with that writing was definitely genius.
Yeah, that's actually pretty smart. I like that.
So yeah, Wolfram and Hart, just one of my favorite evil companies.
I would say that's the most morally corrupt, but definitely the most effective. I also like the episode where, like, they were going to take him to see the senior partners, like Angel.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to take you to hell. And so he's on an elevator. It seems like it's going for a while. And then what happens? He gets off on the ground floor and goes, oh, yeah, welcome to Earth. Didn't you know this is practically hell already?
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
That's a valid point. I like that.
Yeah, I really, really love that. Just one of my favorites.
What are other good evil corporations? I would say in gaming, the Chiron Group.
The Chiron Group.
Yeah, from the new, or not new, it's not new anymore, Hunter game.
Yeah, Hunter, what is it called? It's not Reckoning.
No, that's the old one. Hunter,
I don't remember.
But no, I get what you're going for there. Vaguely recall them now.
Yeah, they're the pharmaceutical company that goes, hey, you know all these cool supernatural creatures? Yeah, let's take them apart and use them for our pharmaceutical stuff.
Yep.
Because that makes sense.
Hunter the Vigil?
Might be Vigil. Oh man, it was, oof. They're really bad. Like, I don't see how anybody thinks they're the good guys. Like, I could see the argument for, like, Task Force Valkyrie. I could see the argument for, like, Aegis Kaiduru and some of the other groups. Mm-hmm. But I do not see any redeeming value in the Chiron Group.
They're literally tearing apart and doing vivisections on supernaturals, and then putting those parts into humans to make them more powerful so they can kill more supernaturals.
I mean, y'all have totally valid points, but playing them is kind of fun.
Well, it's the same reason why, like, for well, unless their stuff works. Here's the thing, though. They don't give their stuff to the public. They only give their stuff to the super rich or themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I would normally agree with you if they use these research things to help the general public. But they don't.
So they're like a real pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Zing. I'm trying to think of other good or bad fictional companies.
How about the company whose business is life itself? That would be Umbrella Corp.
Oh, yeah, Umbrella. Oh,
yes.
God, I forgot about Umbrella. Jesus Christ.
So, related to Umbrella Corp, one of these sessions I played in at Origins was based on the Castlevania Netflix show, and there was basically a continuous stream of strangely attired zombies hitting this one town, and we were brought in to investigate. We found an open portal. and it basically took us to the facility in Raccoon City. It was the Resident Evil zombies that were basically pouring through this portal to ancient Europe.
Oh my god, I love that. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, Nemesis was a bit of a hard fight, but we took him down. So yeah, I have to agree. Umbrella Corp is another classic evil corporation. Most like cyberpunk type games and Shadowrun will have a bunch of evil corps. I don't really play any of them actively, so I don't know their names. What's the one from Werewolf the Apocalypse?
Oh, I know that too, and I can't remember the name. Oh my god.
Pentex?
Yes,
Pentex.
Pentex. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a really good one. I hadn't even thought about that. That's brilliant. They're just so slimy.
Yeah, they're almost like Captain Planet villains. We'll dump the toxic waste in this forest! Twisting their mustaches.
Oh yeah.
Would you consider...
I got one.
Oh, go ahead.
I got one. You ready? The
Sure.
Union Aerospace Corporation, or the
Union?
UAC.
What's that from?
Doom. Doom.
Okay.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, let's mine hell for energy, and oh, by the way, yeah, oh, demons are getting loose? Oh, we don't care about our employees. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Just keep that glorious hell juice coming.
And I would be remiss to have this conversation and not mention Shinra Corp.
Okay.
Yep, Final Fantasy Shinra Corp is really bad. Let's suck the life out of the planet, and for, the greater quarterly gains.
Yeah, literally destroy the planet just to make a profit. Literally, destroy the whole planet.
Would we consider Team Rocket a corporation?
It is.
Yes, it is.
And that might be the other kind of bad corporation, the ineffective kind.
That's true.
It is evil, sure, but it's really bad at its job.
Very, very bad at its job.
Give me a second. I have one. I'm trying to remember the name of the freaking company that it's in the game.
And as in games like this game, Jojo.
Jojo?
Jojo Mart.
Ah.
Yeah. I think it's Descent 3, I'm thinking. Give me a second, I'm trying to think of the company, because it's hard, because it's not talked about often in the game.
In the company that you're playing through in Portal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a good one. Here we go. The Post-Terran Mining Corporation, or the PTMC.
Okay. Is that from The Expanse?
Nope, is from Descent.
Okay.
An old flight sim game where you're stuck inside a mine and there are robots coming at you everywhere. The robots have gone psychotic and trying to kill you. And you are referred to by the company as the Material Defender. And you would think, okay, that doesn't sound terrible, except for the fact is, they basically caused the robots to go berserk in order to kill all the miners who were attempting to unionize.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or the opposite of nice, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a great example, because you're sitting there going, oh shit. And then in the third game, when you have successfully destroyed all the killer robots, all the people are dead, and they've gotten their minds back, they then cause your jump drive to malfunction. and cause you to what they think is self-destructing.
Okay.
So they try to kill your ass in the third game, only for you to come back and whoop their ass.
Okay.
That's an oldie but goodie for horrifyingly bad ones.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a thought for you guys.
Uh-oh.
If anyone, no, I'm hoping I'm not the only. This is fairly popular, so I have to assume that I'm not the only one who knows. What about Vault Tech?
Yes, yeah, Vault-Tec, definitely. I could see them being a horrifying evil corp.
Yeah, I mean, we learn about some of the like experimental stuff that they were doing with some of the vaults.
That's exactly what I was thinking of, because, like, you know, the idea that they made these vaults isn't necessarily by itself bad, but when you learn about the experiments they were doing in those vaults, then it starts to look really bad.
Yeah, Vault-Tec's a good one. Yeah, I could agree with that one wholeheartedly. How about you, audience? Do you got any corporations you think that are in fiction that are horrifying?
Absolutely, yes. Let's throw that open to the audience there.
Let's see if they come up with anything. By the way, thank you, Dark Heretic, for the hearts. I appreciate that. So while people are thinking, other fun companies, I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to remember.
Hi. Oh, the Illuminati. Oh, God.
So the Illuminati, like as a group, or you mean like the companies referred to in the lore of Illuminati, like the card game?
I think it's the group.
Okay. I mean, they could be a corporation. Yeah, that's sort of the classic mystery group pulling the strings power-wise.
What was that group in James Bond?
Oh, Spectre?
Yeah, Spectre was a corporation.
I mean, it's certainly an alliance of people who own corporations, so I guess it could be thought of as something of a corporation. Spectre is just kind of the classic faceless nemesis of James Bond. Okay, so this one's gonna age me, but one of my favorite ones in the ridiculous evil sort of format is the Daitokuchi Financial Group, which is the corporation that belongs to Biko's dad in Project A-ko.
I remember that.
Yes, it's basically, got all the R&D budget that just keeps, channeling funds into her latest battle suit so she can battle her high school rival A-ko. LexCorp in comics.
Yes, LexCorp. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. I had to look this one up because for whatever reason I could not remember what they were called. Abstergo. From the Assassin's Creed games.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We want to count Tom Nook from Animal Crossing?
That's true. Nook Industries. Fuck that man.
I'm not sure if he's a corporation or he's just a mafia agent.
Both.
He's an entirely legitimate businessman.
So, do you want to play a game, Ruby?
What?
Come up to your house.
Is the game Tractor Dodge?
No, I think I know what it is. Motherfucker, she moves shit.
What all have I moved?
God damn it.
Nope, still not quite right.
I'm trying to get it to where I think I can handle it. God damn it.
Ow!
There's this thing in here, but I don't know where it came from.
All right. Yes. Let me continue my research aid.
Oh, you got 2 new items in your house, by the way.
God damn it! She's putting shit in my house.
Womp womp.
Squidgy, hey buddy! Alright, so I think that's Megacorps for us.
Yeah, I mean they're a fun kind of nemesis you can have in a TTRPG, and there's plenty of good examples out there.
Oh yeah, let's see what our next topic is. I think we've done this one.
I believe we have.
Yeah.
Alright, then I'll reroll.
But we may not have done it with our 2 guests. They could talk about their favorite RPGs.
I guess they can mention that. Well, alright.
Or-
I'm pretty sure we did it the first time I was.
Yeah,
on.
we did with Naja, so... Yeah.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure we've talked about Pathfinder 2E.
Yeah.
We're going to have to come up with some more topics for the wheel, so everybody get out on that Discord. Suggest some stuff.
Best fictional religion.
Ooh, we have not done this.
No, we haven't. This one's going to be fun. One of my favorite religions, and it's one of the simplest ones, is actually the Conan the Barbarian religions.
Like Crom?
Like Crom. It's very simple. We didn't get a lot of information on it, but sometimes less is more.
Sure.
We see some of the, you know, the tenets of it through his behavior.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that can be a great, like, the old writer's axiom is to show, not tell. And by showing that character's interpretation of the religion, it allows us to get an idea of what it's all about without hitting us over the head with like a huge lecture about, you know, this is what this means and this is what this means and here's the names of all this. Very, very smart, effective way to do it, I think.
Oh, yeah. But there were also other religions in that series as well.
Oh, yes.
Also well explained.
You've got your, you know, your serpent worshiper, you know, dark, sinister faiths. I remember Mitra is one of the gods worshipped in that setting. Trying to think of some other ones, but yeah, the Conan mythology is quite good. Let me think. Best fictional religions. I think one of the things that Game of Thrones does well that isn't really like paid attention to a lot, like it gets lost in all the other stuff about Game of Thrones, is its religions are interesting and they feel like lived in. And what I mean by that is like this feels like a faith that's been around a while, and we don't need to go into detail on what the worship of the Seven is. But it feels kind of realistic. It adds color to the world, and I think that does a lot to make it, you know, just make the whole world pop.
Faye Dorian goes, wasn't it a belief that you did not want Crom's attention? Yes, but that's also part of the fun of it.
Yes.
Just because you worship a god or respect the god doesn't mean you want their attention.
Right. Crom is, you know, a god of battle, but you know that battles can go for you or battles can go against you. So it is not always good to have Crom's eye upon you.
Squidgy, one of my favorites from a book, which made a jump to the real world. Church of all worlds from Stranger in a Strange Land.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good one. That's a really well thought out one, I would say. The Bajoran religion from Star Trek was also really good.
You know, it was really kind of interesting when the Bajoran religion was introduced because, honestly, prior to Deep Space Nine, a lot of the Star Trek stuff we got was very episodic, so we really didn't get to see details about religion that often. We got like maybe a little snapshot of a world's religion, which is fine and interesting, but it's also cool to sometimes get a deep dive. And so, yeah, it was nice to see a deep dive on religions.
Oh, yeah.
And we get a lot more of the Bajoran faith and the prophets and, how the wormhole figures into it. It's very cool.
And I liked how Cisco also put it, too, like to Jake, because Jake thought it was dumb. And he goes, no, this is important to them.
Right. Sometimes a religion is less about, what's true or false and what it means to the people who practice it. And, that was a very good way for him to acknowledge that.
Yeah, especially with his kid.
Yeah.
And I respect that. I will say that Final Fantasy is usually not done religion well.
That's fair.
I'd say the best example of religion that wasn't bashing you over the head with religion is bad is 14.
Okay.
Where there's a lot of people who worship the 12, which is their 12 gods, and it's kind of like their zodiac signs.
Right.
So the worship of the 12 is big, and there's a lot of things going into that worship, but it's not so forefront that it detracts from the game.
Right.
But at the same time, it's important enough that you tend to notice it.
Right on.
So there is that. WoD has a lot of religion in it. Yeah, World of Darkness definitely has a ton of it, especially depending on the edition you go into.
Yeah, I was going to say it can vary quite a bit. Trying to think, what would be another good example?
Well, let's see what Naja and Anne's got.
Yeah.
I'm not really all that familiar with fantasy religions.
Well, it's any fictional religion.
Honestly, it's funny. As soon as that topic came up, pretty much every religion I could possibly think of just went out of my head.
Same here.
I'm trying to think. And you mentioned Game of Thrones, and that popped into my head for a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
The kids are having some issues. Fedorian goes, again, Illuminati.
I mean, sure. Trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I really think that a lot of the really interesting religions we get to see in fiction are interesting because we have an interesting practitioner of that religion. So, again, going back to Game of Thrones, you have, oh god, Melisandre.
Yeah, she's a great example of an interesting practitioner.
And we don't see a lot of other of her fellow worshippers. I think we get a couple in the books and like maybe one in the TV show. And, that's a really weird... It feels like an analog of like our world's old pagan type religions. And, obviously fictionalized and exaggerated, but it's kind of cool. I think religion in fiction and in TTRPGs are great when they add texture. And the caution I would give any GM, when you're doing fictional religions for your campaign is don't do one religion because you are essentially hamstringing yourself, especially. And I don't know if we've got anybody thinking this way in the group and the audience, but if you're going to do like, oh, it's the one true religion, it's basically the Christian religion. Don't do that. Come on, be imaginative. Go beyond that. If you want to have like fantasy Catholicism as one of your religions, go for it. But give some variety out there.
I mean, heck, Christianity has so many denominations. You could just use that as an example.
It does, and honestly, that could be an interesting way to do it. Everybody on the planet worships the same supposed god, but they do it in like 15 different ways. That's fine, but you want to give your players room to have a sect that they can work with. You want to make sure that you don't make it too heavy-handed, so you're strangling off creativity there. And I think that's the best sort of fictional religions do that well. I'm trying to think. I've always been fascinated by so-called cargo cults. Are you familiar with this trope, Ruby?
No, I've never heard this one.
Okay, so the cargo cult trope is basically when an object from an outside context, let's say a spacecraft, crashes on a planet that doesn't really understand what it is, and it's essentially forms the basis of a religion. It's like, oh, this is a chariot of the gods from the stars, and these things that we found in it are, representative of some higher truth. That's always kind of amusing to me to see, like, okay, we're taking this, event that has had a profound impact on them, and they have started worshiping this stuff. And yeah, so we occasionally see that in like Star Trek.
I'll give
Stellaris.
I was going to say one great example of that, Orville.
Sure.
The religion of Kelly.
Yeah.
That is a great example of that trope.
Yeah.
Because you got a civilization that advances like 700 years every, like, I think it was like, what was it, 14 days, something like that?
Yeah.
I forget what the time frame was, but it was a relatively quick time frame.
Uh-huh.
And you get to see it all go crazy with that. Before the fandom overbloated it to, well, the Force philosophy was cool. Yes, the original Star Trek Force philosophy before, what was it? I want to say midichlorians.
Yeah, basically prior to the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, then I found out lulz, it's basically Buddhism. Yeah, it's a type of Buddhism. It's a little different, but it is basically Buddhism. And to be brutally honest, there's nothing wrong with space Buddhism.
Nope.
I mean, I would like to, be Buddhist and suddenly get magical powers. That would be kind of rock.
Oh gosh, I thought of another one and then I blanked on it. There are comic book religions that are fascinating from a fictional perspective. Actually, there's a storyline going on right now in the current Titans book.
Give them a minute. Commercials have started.
Okay.
It didn't give me a warning that they were coming.
Okay. Let me know, I guess, when they're done. Can they still hear us despite the commercials?
No, they can't hear us.
Okay. I noticed that some streamers have that little window that goes up in the corner when they're doing commercials, and so you can still kind of watch the stream.
It'll still visually...
But I don't know if that's everybody or...
Yeah,
what.
It'll still visually show the stream in the corner, but they can't hear us.
Got it. And since we're mainly doing a chatting thing, that would, not be ideal.
All right, hon, that's it.
Yeah. But,
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Tier 1 sub.
Thank you. Tier 1 sub for Fadorian. Fadorian enjoyed the no commercials, the extra access to emotes, all of that jazz.
Welcome, traveler.
Absolutely.
And now she's following. She forgot to follow. Hey Dorian, welcome to the tavern now. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my goddamn tavern.
It's okay to fireball his tavern.
Every time you guys fireball my tavern, I have to keep fixing it.
Well,
Have a nice night, all.
I was about to do that, Squidgy.
You guys, I swear to the gods.
Beat me to the face hugger punch. Oh, one of the things I saw at Origins that made me think of you was an actual leather mask that's basically a face hugger, like in leather, that someone had made. I was like, I should buy that for Ruby.
I will fucking stab you.
Being made of leather, it was rather expensive, so obviously I did not.
I will say this. Like, give me a second. Let me fix something. Alright, I'm going to go to voice activity so that way I can do this.
Okay.
Huh? Okay. I would have been okay if you got it and like left it on a shelf somewhere or something. I might have avoided the shelf.
Right.
But if you even remotely tossed that at me, I would punch you. like there would be not a second thought. It would just fist would be flying. Like fucking die. Oh my god. Oh jeez. All right.
So we're through the commercials now?
I believe we're through the commercials.
All right, so I will finish up my thought before we knock off for the night.
Yep.
There are a couple of good comic book religions that I enjoy seeing when they pop up. In the current Titans storyline, the Church of Blood has resurfaced and renamed itself, and they're going in a more Scientology cult direction, which is kind of interesting because previously they were literally a cult that worshipped a guy named Brother Blood. But the other one that I was thinking of is, and I'm trying to remember their name, I think it's the Church of Universal Truth or something, but there's a Marvel Universe religion that is spread throughout their galaxy, which is kind of a space religion. But it's also very similar to the one from Doctor Who. If you remember in the Matt Smith seasons, there was the Church of the Silence or whatever they were called.
Favorite referred to it as the Church of Crime.
Oh well, there is the Church of Crime, yes, but that's related but different. I believe they were the same organization for a time, but yes. The Church of Blood Titans. Let me make sure I've got this right. So yes, it's a cult that's been around for centuries. But yes, they did sort of merge with the Church of Crime at one point, which was a storyline. But yeah, I love these big, sweeping, villainous organizations that make for just excellent opposition. But yeah, Doctor Who, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, they've all got great examples.
Alright, so I did just share the link for Stellaris Eterna Season 3. We're not anywhere close to it yet, but we're taking NPC factions for it.
Yes, if you would like to come up with a bad guy, well, I mean, I say bad guy, but an opposing faction for Season 3, now's your chance.
Yeah, you can now torture me and Gamera together. Just to take care of that. Alright. And of course the Cult of Cthulhu. Yep, that's a popular one.
Yes.
Alright, so we're going to be rating someone called Rando Game Guy. He's playing Kingdom Hearts 2. So, if you're one of my 12 subscribers now, I'm up to 12. Yay!
Woo!
We're also at 997 followers, so we are 3 shy of the 1,000.
Nice.
So, oh my god, we will have it soon. If we get 8 more subs, Anne has agreed to give a cooking lesson on stream. So, we'll have that. If you're one of my followers, there's your raid message. All right. So tomorrow is Wildcard Wednesday, where I will be playing Final Fantasy VIII again. If anybody ever wants to change it for the following week, you have for 5,000 critical rolls, which is my channel points, you can change the game to anything on my list. What is my list? Well, it'd be this list, my Google Doc list. Any game I own, you can pick. All right? So I hope to see you all tomorrow. I'll be reopening the tavern then, you asshole.
At least I got one in.
Yes, at least you got one in. So I hope to see you all tomorrow. You guys make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Damn it, AP. Stop sending fire to my tavern. I wish you guys well. And stick around for the raid, alright? Doodles.
Doodles.
Night.